Where do I begin? Honestly, I feel like starting this video being like, hi everyone, just doesn't quite feel like the right way to start this video. I'm smiling and laughing, but I've not done much of that, if I'm honest. So I got appendicitis 8 weeks postpartum, my first ever surgery. That's what this vlog's going to be about. To be honest, I know that obviously having your appendix removed isn't some major surgery, but everything just happened so quickly in a way that I didn't, and I still haven't fully taken it all in. And not only did I not think about the surgery, I didn't think about the recovery. So let's begin. So it started on one fine Friday morning at 4 AM. I was here, right here. I woke up to tummy pain. TMI, but I thought it might be constipation. Didn't know what it could be. I did eat a lot the day before. I love my food. And I was in that much pain. I had to have a bath just because I thought maybe that'll ease the pain somehow. And it didn't. I managed to go to the bathroom 2 or 3 times and the pain was still there. So I knew something wasn't right. I called the doctor and I ended up getting into my GP at an appointment for 10 to 12. I let them know obviously what I'd been experiencing and that I had an 8-week-old, and it was very difficult to look after her because I was in that much pain and I was crying. So my mum always says I've got a high pain threshold. So as soon as I told her that I wasn't feeling well, that I was crying because of it, she was like, something's not quite right. The doctor said that I had a grumbling appendix, which can go, or it can get worse and become appendicitis. Let's just say it got worse, or I just didn't feel right. Like I felt like there was something more to it. So we contacted my mother and father-in-law to see if they could take me to the hospital, to A&E, and they could. That was about 6 o'clock. I had all different tests done, and by around 12, or yeah, just before 12, they confirmed that it was appendicitis. So I had to have a CT scan, blood tests, fluids. Did I have fluids before that? I can't remember. But yeah, I had to have these tests done obviously. And then yeah, they came back and confirmed that it was indeed appendicitis. So my mother-in-law stayed with me for like 6.5 hours, which was crazy. So I'm so appreciative for her having done that. So I was in a ward when she left me, waiting for a bed. I was in that room for 4.5 hours, and then I managed to get a bed in by myself actually, because they knew that I had an 8-week-old that I would be wanting to hopefully still be breastfeeding. Obviously that was a long period of time not being with Isla. That was the longest. The longest before that I'd been away from Isla was 50 minutes. So honestly it was just the whole time she was just on my mind. I was just really grateful that I had milk in the fridge and in the freezer, else she would have had to go on formula, which I'm 100% okay with, but I wanted to be able to make that decision. I don't want a situation to force me into having to do that. So as you can imagine, I was just grateful that my partner was able to be at home. But yeah, being without me, for that length of time, not being able to breastfeed, so he had to obviously give her the bottles, and she obviously could feel and tell something wasn't right. So she wasn't herself, and the day before she'd had her 8-week vaccinations, so she was a bit out of sorts anyway. So it was a trying time for all. So by the time I got to the room that I stayed in, I hadn't eaten. I ate since 4 a.m. basically, yeah, since I didn't really eat on the Friday. I had 1 cereal bar, and then by the time they got me into my own room, they said I was nil by mouth, so I couldn't eat. I asked for a sandwich and they were like, oh, I think you're nil by mouth now. I was like, oh, because I actually felt like a little bit hungry. The whole time I hadn't felt hungry, so that sucked. And then basically, yeah, I slept and everything, and was that Saturday? That was a Saturday morning. Yeah, so I slept obviously here and there, and then I was nil by mouth all Saturday. Isla and my partner visited me on Saturday, so I was able to breastfeed her twice and get 200 mils out of milk to give to my partner in a cooler box that he brought. So the annoying thing was they let me pump an A&E, but I understood that I didn't think I was going to be in for long. Like, I didn't know what was going on, so I was fine to drain that, like, down the sink. I was like, it's fine, like, all good, it's fine. But when I was on the ward, the surgical ward, they said they didn't have a pump, even though it was in the same building as what the pump was in previously, just a few floors up. And they didn't have a fridge to store my milk in. And yeah, they just weren't open to thinking of solutions, basically, to me needing to pump and stuff. So I literally had to hand express for hours, like when I was there for hours and hours and hours. But yeah, when my partner came to visit me on Saturday afternoon, he bought the pump, the cooler bag as well with bottles, and so yeah, I managed to feed her twice, which was great. So she had 2 boob feeds, and then yeah, gave him 200 mils to take home. But then obviously once he was left with the cooler box, anything I expressed after that point had to be drained down the sink, which was slowly beginning to get on my nerves, as I was just like missing her, and that was the one thing I felt like I had control over and that I could give to her. Yeah, so it was nil by mouth, so obviously on fluids the whole time. They couldn't disconnect me to I couldn't like walk around with the fluid bag, because every time they did, it would say that it was like low battery, so I had like a dodgy box or whatever, dodgy machine, so I had to call them every time I needed to go to the bathroom, couldn't walk around. Like, by this point I was in pain, but they could only give me paracetamol or ibuprofen because I'm breastfeeding. I was breastfeeding, or am breastfeeding. So, but it was when I had painkillers, it was manageable. Like, I wouldn't have minded just maybe going for a walk just up the corridor and back every now and then, or walk to the bathroom easily and stuff. Anyway, then they said to me I was on the priority list, so that was good to know. So at about 10 o'clock at night, they told me, on Saturday, they told me to try and have a sleep, and that they'd wake me up in an hour or so to have my surgery. So I thought, that's like promising. They really wanted to get it done that day. So I was like, oh, it's only 2 hours till it's Sunday. And then they came in at 11:30 and said, we're really sorry, an emergency case has come in, so you can eat now till 2 o'clock. So I was that like out of it, and I just was like, I'm happy to have food, and obviously you understand that someone's, like, an emergency situation's obviously happened. So I had a sandwich that tasted amazing, ready salted crisps that were like hit the spot, the orange juice, I can't even tell you the flavour. I was just like, oh, so good. And then I set an alarm for 1:30 to wake myself up to have a banana. So I managed to get a couple of hours of broken sleep and stuff on the Sunday morning, and then the doctor, or the surgeon, sorry, came in at, I think it was like 9ish, or 8:30, 9ish, to say that they were hoping to do my surgery, whereas I thought that I'd have to wait like a whole nother day. Because obviously before that I was nil by mouth for such a long time, but that was just so that I'd be ready for if they could do my surgery like quickly, or just, yeah, to not delay it even further. And so yeah, he came in, asked all the questions, told me a bit about the procedure, and then I called my partner and I messaged him and said, oh, I think it's going to be hopefully this morning. He said, don't get your hopes up, you know, it'll probably be a while. And within half an hour, a lady was coming in to get me, so I had to put my gown on. I even left my pants and leggings on the floor because I was that much of a rush. I didn't realise that it was all happening so quickly. And they wheeled me down to theatre, and as soon as I saw the theatre sign, that was the first time I actually thought about the surgery because that whole time I'd been thinking about Isla and not being with her and just wanting to get it out the way. I'd not really thought about actually having the surgery, and obviously the recovery. That was not in my mind at all, not at all, not even for a second. I just wanted to get home to my baby. That's all that I thought. And I remember when they were giving me the oxygen and I could tell they were like putting me under, my last thought was like, I love my daughter. And then I woke up and I had wet myself, which apparently is normal. So they were cleaning my sheets and helping assist her out. And I remember just wanting to reach for my phone. Like as soon as they put me in my room, I just wanted to get my phone to let Will know that the surgery had been done, so that he could let my family know and let everyone know. And I was a bit out of it for half an hour. I was just kind of like like that. But I just knew it had been done then and everything was going to be okay. So maybe 2 hours went past and I was thinking, I need to get home now. Like I've had the surgery, ticked that off the list, need to get home. So I asked the nurse, buzzed the buzzer, and I said to the nurse, I want to go home. I'm, feeling alright, like the pain is fine. I just want to get home to my baby now. She's 8 weeks old. Like anyone that I could tell that I had a baby and that I was 8 weeks postpartum, just 8 weeks old, I was just telling, because I was like, I need, assistance. And in that time as well, I don't know if I mentioned, when I was actually out for surgery, my cousin had come to give me the cooler box and give me a bag of bits, because I didn't know, obviously I was having surgery really. I thought it'd be in the late evening or something. So she came into my room, there was no bed. I did warn her that it could happen, you never know. So yeah, she went in there and she would have seen, because one of the nurses, just before I had surgery, I said, oh, do you have ice? And she actually gave me a jug of ice, so I had like a bottle of milk in the ice. So that was one of the first things I did when I came back from surgery as well, was put that milk that was just sitting in the ice in a bottle into the cooler bag that my cousin dropped off. And I couldn't have a shower, and I hadn't showered since Thursday. I was like, I would love a shower right now. And the nurse said, no, you've got to wait a day. So I was like, okay, it's fine. So at least I just kind of gave myself a bit of a rinse over and got changed out of the clothes that my cousin brought, which was great. And then yeah, so the surgeon came and said, are you sure you want to go? Did the whole checking everything's fine, looked at my incisions and they were fine. He was happy with them and just told me things to look out for. Everything that they gave me in terms of pain relief was fine for breastfeeding Isla. So that was fine. I could continue breastfeeding her when I got home. And then basically when I got home, it was a lot of rest, just happy to see her, just to hold her. I had my pregnancy feeding pillow there, so when I had her on me, it wasn't, I could not got any of her weight on me. But it was just so nice to be home. And then it all kicked in that it would take a while to recover. So I got home on Sunday and now it's Thursday, and honestly I feel like I've gone back to square one in terms of feeling like I can't do anything around the house, obviously because I've had surgery. Isla was particularly needy on the Monday, and I think that was just she just drank so much, and I think it was just obviously a very a comfort thing. I wasn't with her, it's been warm, it's been really hot, and it was just a lot on the Monday. Like my partner and I were just so drained, but she was smiling, and she was trying to laugh. Like, I feel like she's already trying to laugh, and she's just sitting next to me, and she was like talking, so going ooh, and then we'd like do it back, and she'd say something else back. So that was giving us like what we needed to just keep continuing. Obviously, you don't have a choice, but the hardest thing is just, yeah, seeing all my friends, obviously with babies, going out and being able to do things, and I'm just kind of stuck here, but also trying to just embrace being with her, because that's all I wanted, was to be with her when I was away. But I want to be able to be making memories and stuff, but it's just me putting pressure on myself. Hello, gorgeous girl. Hello. Hello, look at smiles. Are you hungry? Should I give you some food? You've had a nice nappy nap. You have been really good girl for mummy. Ba ba ba. Ba ba ba. You're so cute. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So that's why I've not been posting, I've not been vlogging, I've been at home chilling, literally. But I've just got to give myself some grace, yes, and just enjoy this slow time, because in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a max, I'll be out and about, and I'll probably be overdoing it and I'll be wanting to just be chilling at home. So yeah, that is my experience with having appendicitis, 8 weeks postpartum. I'm more annoyed because I wanted to start exercising as well and doing bits. I felt like I was at a place ready to do all that, and now I can't, but we'll get there. I've got this book that I'm reading. I've managed to be reading this when feeding Isla, which has been nice. So it starts with Us by Colleen Hoover. Great read. And I've got my computer, so I'm going to be doing some bits for my business idea that I've had for a while. So, and just lapping up all the cuddles, eating healthy, taking it slow. Might treat myself to going outside for a few minutes because it's really warm. But I just need to cut myself some slack, but it's all mental at the moment. Like, I'm not in pain when she's on me. Sometimes it's a bit tender. If I do a little bit too much, like move a funny way, I can tell I shouldn't do that. But it's all up here. So I've just got to keep positive like I usually am, and pretend that it's my friend in this situation, and be giving myself the advice that I would give to my friend. Alright. Hopefully the next vlog will be an exciting one.